going on? My name is Yuri, and welcome to another episode of Music Row Hideout, the show where we hang out with artists, musicians, and entertainers in Waylon Jennings' old basement studio. As always, I am gathered here with co-host Ryan Poole, who I'll pass it to introduce the guest.
First of all, what the hell is it, inner tailor?
It's like an outer tailor, but more inside.
I love that. Somebody who
fixes
your clothes
from
in
the
an
inside out.
way.
Like a therapist who fixes clothes.
I think that's fantastic. Well, tonight, on an all-new episode of Music Row Hideout, we have singer-songwriter and roommate, Zach Ummer. Roommate to the stars.
Hey.
Woo! Now, Zach was in episode blah, 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 way back in the day, Ghost in the Night.
Yeah.
Thinking the strong contender for today's episode is Ghost in the Day, but we'll see.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And
Ghost in the late afternoon.
yeah, Zach's a musician, and he so happens to be my roommate. How the hell are you doing, Zach?
I'm good. It's Monday, though.
That's true.
Somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Monday.
It sure feels like a Monday.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, just to get everybody's spirit started low. So one of the cool things is we know each other really well now, but we met on this podcast. We didn't know each other at all.
Yeah. We were talking about that beforehand.
Yeah, he was just some dude who worked with my wife. And my wife was like, you should get him on the show. And we were like, all right. And like 6 months later, he comes on the show. And
It's really interesting.
Rest is history,
like,
I guess.
I know everything about, not everything, but a lot about you guys now.
More than you did before.
Probably too much.
Yeah, last time we had zero idea who you were,
You're
nor
like
did we
figuring it
care.
out as the podcast
We just
goes
kept
on.
asking you about maple syrup. We're like, so
That's
they have
true.
maple syrup in Vermont?
Oh, and don't think that line of questioning is stopping. I know you're from Vermont, all right?
So, I wanted to kick this off with your story. So,
Yeah, I've been waiting since the moment you walked in the door for this story.
so you messaged me right before the show. You might be running a little bit late because of a scenario, and I was like, "Don't tell me what it was. We want to hear about it on the show." So, what happened to you, Zach?
Tell him where he hit you.
Show me on this doll.
Yeah. No, so, okay. I was really hungry, want to get Subway. So I went to the Subway behind Lipscomb, which is the one on Granny White. And for those of you in Nashville who know where that is, that's where it is. Anyway, so I just got, there was somebody in front of me in line. This dude behind the counter handled them pretty quickly. And so I get up and I'm like, I want an oven roasted chicken breast on flatbread.
Classic.
Yeah, on flatbread. And he goes, this is the first thing he says. He just goes, it's been 2 weeks or 3 weeks. You're the first person in 3 weeks that's ordered flatbread. And I'm like,
Cool.
not really sure what to do that. I literally said, I was like, I'm not really sure what to do that information. Like jokingly, like I jokingly said this. And then he was like, okay. He's like, I'm just trying to make small talk. I'm like, okay. I gave him the cheese that I wanted, which was pepper jack. And then I was like, I want it toasted, foot long. And the way he was like putting it together was really wacky. I was like already like kind of weird. Anyway, so he starts putting it on, and then as he's doing it, I'm noticing that he's like doing it all really weird and backward.
What does that mean?
Okay, so most people put the vegetables like here's the meat part on one side, right, of the bread.
Yeah.
And then on the other side they put the vegetables
And
then
they close it.
And then they close
Yeah,
it.
okay.
Also, he asked me, he's like, "How do you want it folded? Like hamburger style or like?" I'm like, "No, I just want it like
I
folded."
want a hamburger style.
Oh, yeah, like,
I want to know what that's like. I want to experience it.
so
the
weird.
Subway hamburger style sandwich.
It's so weird. Anyway, he asked me that. I'm like, I want it folded like a regular Subway sandwich. And then he starts doing the vegetable thing. He puts the vegetables on top of the meat. I'm like, that's going to make it really hard to like fold. So he puts it all together, and then he gives me the sandwich, and he just like kind of throws it at me. And it's like all like messed up. Like it looked so, it didn't even look like a sandwich in a sandwich like paper thing that they usually give you at Subway. It was like all messed up. And so I was like, I paid for it. And then I was like, do you mind like refolding that?
Oh, such an awkward thing to have to ask.
I know, because I didn't want to, I was like, I'm gonna have to eat it, and it would have been like so crazy and messy and like everywhere, like there would have been vegetables. So I asked him to refold it, and as soon as I asked him, he picked it up and like slam dunked it, like super pissed off into the garbage, like everything. I was like thinking to myself, like, I literally just asked you to refold it. Like, what the fuck is going on? Dude, like, slams it down into the garbage can. And I'm like, okay. So he starts redoing it over again. And he's making a mess and like this and that. And I'm like, I was like, I don't even remember how that happened, how we got to the next part. But at some point I was like, dude, like, because he started
Did you black out?
No. No, I probably was just like getting pissed. Anyway.
So guy sucks at making sandwich.
Oh,
you
but he was also just being
he slam dunks it.
Well, no, he was like pissed. He was like, like,
and
just
you
like
black out.
Yeah, 100%. No, but then he gets super pissed and like starts making a fresh one, but like really messing it up and like getting even worse with it. And he starts putting on the wrong cheese and this and that. And he was like giving me a really hard time. And then I was like, all right, dude. Because at this point I was just like infuriated. I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I just wanted to get a sandwich and leave. Like, I wasn't trying to be like a dick. I was just like, I just want it folded right. Because when I eat it, I want it to fall apart.
Right.
So, yeah.
And sandwich is not that complicated.
Exactly. So anyway, where was I?
He's pissed.
Subway.
He's pissed.
Yeah.
He's pissed. Anyway, so at a certain point, I was like, all right, dude, like, what's your manager's like number? Because you're just being like a total douche. And he's like, you want to know what the manager's number is? He's like, okay, here you go. Like, and he like called the phone number of the manager, and I was like, hey, listen, this guy's just not. He's messing up my sandwich. He's not being very nice.
Oh, wait, the manager picked up?
Yeah.
He actually got the manager on the line?
He put it on speakerphone on his own phone. Okay. So I'm sitting there talking to the manager, and of course she's like not, you know.
She's not there.
Well, no, she's not English speaking.
Oh.
Well, she is, but she's got like a really hard accent.
Sure, an over speakerphone.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. But she was like, okay, don't worry, I'll talk to him, whatever. And I was like, okay, thank you. So she talks to him in the back. He comes out and he goes, I mean, I can give you like a refund. She'll be here tomorrow if you want to talk to her. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I want my sandwich. Like, I came here to get a sandwich. Give me my sandwich. And he was like, okay, fine. He got all irritated again. He started making it, and he started putting the wrong things on it. I'm like, dude, I asked for pepper jack, not provolone. I was actually it really nice at this point. I was like, dude, I'm not trying to be a dick. And he's like, we were doing a really good job at it. And I'm like, I know. I was like really pissed. And I was like, sorry, I don't know. I've known what I said at that point. But I was just like, and then he kept putting the wrong things. And I was like, I wanted this. What kind of chicken did you want? The roasted chicken breast.
Do you have more? Do you have many kinds of chicken?
I don't know.
There's just the one, right?
Yeah, there's like a couple. But even so, I was just like, what the hell?
Well, and then, like, how old is this person?
He was like 20-something.
College kid, probably.
Yeah, college kid.
Or high school dropout.
Like, he's never had a job.
But this particular Subway, the one behind Lipscomb, I've gone to several times, and they have the weirdest people that work there. I walked in one time, this dude was wearing a tank top. It was like, it's a place of, like, getting food. You'd think that they wouldn't allow that.
Well, yeah, I'm
Don't
sure
they
they're supposed to
have
wear
a
the
uniform?
Subway shirt or whatever.
Something. Right? Anyway, I was just like...
Do you think this is the Subway Jared goes to?
Probably.
Like
He
it's like
loses
the
so much
pedophile
weight because he
Subway?
never
I don't
gets
think
his sandwiches.
pedophile Subway. That's what it's known for.
They just don't give him his sandwich right, and he gets, like, lettuce, and then every time, that's why he's losing weight. No. Anyway.
Try a better joke.
No. There's not really a joke to this. It's just I was really PO'd at it. Anyway, so at the end of the whole thing, he just kept doing it wrong like 1,000 different times after the whole situation.
How many sandwiches did he make?
He might have made like 5. No. He started making he started 5 different sandwiches.
And in the
And
end of
all
all of this, wrapping this up, how many sandwiches did you leave with?
0. Yeah, I left with 0. At a certain point, I was literally just like, you know what, dude, I'm done. I don't need it. Don't worry about it. He's like, okay. Like, he just like, and he said it with an attitude too. He said it like, okay, fine. Like, and I was like, fuck you, dude. I literally left the place. And I was like, fuck you, dude. Have a great day. Like, it was the most ridiculous. I've never had that experience. I've worked retail forever, and I've never had that experience in my entire life.
Well, Zach, you better be real interesting, or else this episode's gonna be called "Fuck You, Have a Good Day," yeah. Or like Zach Ummer goes to Subway.
Zach's Subway trauma.
Oh my god.
So, picking right up where we left off at the end of the last episode.
What's your favorite? No.
No, I don't even remember where we ended the last one.
It was like 3 years ago.
3 years ago, and You didn't know me.
Didn't know you at all. No, we didn't have a reason to remember
I
you
didn't
at that
know
point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you left, as far as we know, that's the last time we'd ever talked to you. Little did we
Yeah.
know. You've now ingrained yourself into our lives, and we can't get rid of you.
I'm a part of you.
Well, I think before we get too much further, why don't we give the people a song?
That's what the people
Cool.
want.
Do it.
What's the first song we're going to be hearing?
The first song is actually a song that I wrote about my grandmother, who passed away towards the end of last year. Or I guess it was like the middle of last year. I can't really remember at this point what day it was. There was so many things going on at the time. But anyway, she passed away last year. The song is about me. So she was dealing with dementia and Alzheimer's towards the end of her life. And when I wrote the song, I was kind of using that as a part to write about and like wondering like when we get to the afterlife or wherever, the second part of our journey or whatever, like, are you going to remember who I am? Are you going to know who I am? Like, are you going to like, what's up? How's it going? Not that she would be like, yo, what's up? But
That's how she was, I remember.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was like about me like wondering whether or not she's going to remember what kind of conversations that going to be like. How's that going to be when you don't know?
Yeah, that's where my mind went.
Yeah.
Well, great. Okay. Well, we're going to pop into the other room and do Dear Anita.
All right, this song is for my grandma. This song is called Dear Anita.
Where the ocean meets the sunset, I will find you, but will you remember me? Will you greet me at the gates and call me by my name or pass me by? Dear Anita, will it be as it was? Oh, grandmother, before I am just another face in the crowd. In the dirt beneath my stone, when my bones are frail and old, what will you see? When I start to push up daisies, will you look at me like I'm crazy or come help me? Dear Anita, how's it gonna be? I wanna know when we meet, when all is said and done, what will I become? A stranger in the void. Will you recognize my voice? Where the ocean meets the sunset, I will find you, but will you remember me?
And we're back.
That was awkward, and we're back.
And we're back. There we go.
So, man, I love that song. As you know, Zach, but the listeners won't know, we are actually recording that song right now.
Yeah.
And that you just performed it on my tape machine, which we are also
Hell yeah.
recording it on. So it's like actually really similar to the real deal recording.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
So I remember, so the reason we're recording it, I remember I was out on a gig in like Northeast Tennessee, and I saw on Instagram you posted that your grandma had passed away. And I think, were you in Vermont at the time? Were you visiting when it happened, or were you back here?
No, she passed away while I was here in Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I saw your post, and you had like a really, I mean, it was like a really moving post about how she had helped you when you were a kid and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, dude, we should record that song when I get back. And then
the thing is I wrote that
6 months
song
later.
before she passed. Like, because I was literally thinking about it at the time. Is like, when we get to that point, you know, what's gonna happen? You know?
So, tell me more about your grandma, like when you were a kid, because you talked about how she like helped you when you were a kid and all that stuff. I thought it was really cool. I was like, I told you when I got back, but I was like, man, your grandma sounds like really nice. Like, I'm like, I didn't have a grandma that had that touch.
Yeah. No, my grandmother was great. She's awesome. So when we were growing up, my parents, when they were together, we lived above their house. Like, they had an upstairs, like a 3-floor house. So we lived in the upper 2 floors, and they lived in the bottom 2 floors. So like, for instance, my sister would literally go down in the middle of the night and like play like cribbage with my grandfather. Like, it was that we were like that close. And so we were just really close all throughout like life, I guess. We would go there after school, like every couple days during the week. She bought me she helped buy me my first guitar. My grandparents did. She showed up to like every sporting event or entertainment related plays, music thing as early as possible so she could get like a good seat and all this stuff. Yeah.
I like an early grandma.
100%.
I do.
What kind of guitar was it?
It was a Taylor 210.
Okay.
I still have it.
She won't fucking around.
Actually,
solid guitar.
Funny
So
enough,
grandma doesn't fuck around.
I used that guitar on this recording.
Oh, really?
No, sorry, not on that recording. On the other recording.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not this one.
Less special.
The
Less
record, like the
But we
official
should
recording.
do
You
that.
still have that guitar?
Yeah, it's the one in my room.
Oh, okay,
It's
cool.
my Taylor.
Okay, yeah, you should put that guitar on the recording.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. So, so you had an early grandma who showed up to all of your events.
Yeah. She was great. She's awesome. Her name was Anita.
Yeah. Oh.
Is that why you named the song? Oh my God.
Well, the thing was too is I remember when she was starting to kind of go down the path of like dementia and whatnot, that she would like always come up. She wouldn't know who I am, but she would know who I am. You know what I mean? Like she would remember who I am, like physically and whatever. Like sometimes she'd be like, "I saw you yesterday," and she was talking about my dad. But like also too, she was like, "Oh, well, you're the one who plays guitar," and I'm like, "Yeah." She referred to me as
Interesting.
Elvis later on in her life.
Oh, wow.
Because that's all she could associate it with, which is hilarious, but
Yeah.
awesome at the
yeah,
same time.
that's pretty awesome.
But yeah, she was great, man.
So I remember on your post you mentioned, I don't know if you framed it this way, so like correct me if I'm saying the wrong words, but I feel like you mentioned like that she saw that you realized that you had some sort of like a learning disability or something like that. Like, do you? I don't know what you call it.
She didn't like recognize that or anything. But so, I did have I still do probably, but they tell you that you grow out of it as you get older. No, when I was growing up, I mean, like I had ADD and I was like diagnosed with it or whatever. We were actually just talking about Adderall before we got onto the podcast. Anyway, at the end of the day, like whenever we go to, whenever my sister and I would go over to her house after school, she would help me with math, like till I got it. Like she gave me all the like pointers and how to remember things, all the little like ways to work around stuff. You know what I mean? That's really all there was to it.
Did
She helped me get better at math, I guess.
Did she? Did that have a music tie-in as well? Maybe I'm just
so
remembering
much.
the fact that she gave you the guitar.
Yeah,
So she gave you the guitar.
The biggest part was that she gave me the guitar. I mean, she always she would play my music all the time. Like whenever people were over, I guess, you know.
Just showing you off.
Just showing me off, yeah. She didn't show me off to me, but, you know.
Well,
you
already
That'd
knew.
have been really interesting though. If she if she didn't remember who I was
And then showed you
and then
your
she
own
showed me
music.
my own music, that'd have been really cool.
Okay, this is random. I don't know if this is like a good question or not, but just like you mentioned before starting the song, that the idea is like in the next stage of your journey, if the afterlife, heaven, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, will she remember your name? Like, that's the concept of the song. So, like, what do you think comes next? Do you have any theories?
I have no idea. That's okay. I grew up on Christianity and
Sounds like it's a drug.
Yeah, it is.
I grew up on Christianity.
Yeah, no, I grew up on Christianity, and I was Christian when I mean, I still kind of am, but like, I've dipped my foot in like a bunch of different things at this point. So like, I'm almost kind of at the point where I'm like, I don't care, but like, I'm curious. You know what I mean?
See.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's
that's
like
exactly
I
what
can't
it
know
is.
for sure, so like, let's just not worry about it.
Exactly.
Kind of
Like,
situation.
exactly.
I get that.
I don't like. I think it's weird to put pressure on the fact that I'm gonna go to heaven, and it's like, what if you don't go to heaven, and that's not what it's called, and that's not like, you know what I mean?
Right.
What if it's called
like
you
Istanbul?
show up to you show up to wherever, and you're like, am I at heaven? They're like, no, it's called blah, 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 blah. And you're like, damn it.
I had it wrong.
Is it good too, though? Is it cool?
Like, it's still rad, right? Like, did I just waste all those years doing good things? Because I could have been just doing.
No. You got everything right except the name. It's just called something
And
different.
therefore,
so
you're
bad.
going somewhere else.
Mistranslate.
What if there's like 5 different places?
You know, what if the Scientologists
All the creative
are
people
right?
go here.
That's what I want to know. I want to know what if the Scientologists are right.
Oh,
You know,
I don't
no.
even.
the
I don't even
aliens
wanna
come
know.
down. I mean, I don't know the full story.
Sultan.
Zoltan.
Zoltan? Is that what it
Thank
is?
you for knowing it.
Is that actually what it is? Zoltan?
Yes,
Wow. Are you-
Zoltan. No, not Scientology. That's Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah.
The best thing in the world, and this is why we're good roommates, is that like my like random references that come to my brain, you know the reference.
Yeah, we feed off each other
I thought
real well.
Zoltan isn't Zoltan the game in the movie Big that he plays to
No,
become
Zoltar.
big? Zoltar.
Right.
That's
the
the mind reader.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those exist in real life.
They do.
Yeah, I've used
But is
them.
it because of that?
Wait, can you actually
That's
get
a
big?
great question.
Or is it after?
So I tried that. Actually, you were there. You were there. On my 28th or 29th birthday, we went to the Corvette Diner afterwards with my dad and your wife, me and you. And they had a Zoltar machine, and I went and I said, I want to be big. And I'm big.
yeah,
I did get like a lot fatter over the next few years, actually.
Zoltar's just like, suck on this, you want to get big?
Did you go to another one recently?
I feel like I've been going to see Zoltar every week for the last 10 years. I don't know what's happening. Oh.
That's awesome.
Man.
All right, cool. This was a good episode.
Thanks for coming to hang out. Until next
So,
What happened?
I'm back. Okay. So you're a musician. Why did you get? I mean, I'm sure we asked you this in the last thing, but
As
it's
we
been
asked
long enough
everybody,
that like
yeah.
I don't remember. Like, your grandma bought you a guitar, but then what next? Like, how did you actually start like writing songs and stuff like that?
Right.
I didn't start writing until. Let's see. I didn't start writing songs or writing lyrics until I was in high school, which is about the same time that I started. When I got my guitar so I could play music and write
Mm-hmm.
because I was a singer beforehand, and I would do like not karaoke but karaoke essentially. Like I would do like, I think we talked about it last time, I did like competitions and stuff. Like, no, we didn't talk about this.
I mean, maybe we did, but it was 3 years ago, my guy.
Yeah.
This is brand new information to me.
It was 3 years ago, my God. I'm expecting you to remember all this. Yeah, so when I was like, I don't know, in middle school, like late middle school, early high school, I did these competitions which were like the very micro version of American Idol. Like you would go to like the state fair and like sing country songs.
Vermont State Fair Idol.
Yeah, it's called the Colgate Country Showdown.
That's even better.
And it was the
Sponsored by
couldn't
Colgate.
come up with a better name.
100%. It was sponsored by the toothpaste company.
Did they give you like
No, I
a
wish
goodie
they
bag
had.
of?
Which I guess you get free from the dentist every time you go, though, so it doesn't really matter.
I don't go to the dentist. It's fine.
What was I going to say? Yeah, so I would do these Colgate Country Showdowns like every summer, and then eventually I was like, I want to write songs. Like I want to do my own stuff, and like, because I'm not gonna get anywhere singing other people's songs. I'm not Elvis. But yeah, no, I just didn't want to do that, and I wanted to write songs, and so eventually my grandparents and my mom and dad got together. I guess I wasn't in the conversation or that whatever, and they were like, we should get him a guitar, so they got me a guitar, and I took one lesson at the college that my dad worked at that I eventually ended up going to.
And that was
for a
all you
couple
needed.
years.
Just the one lesson.
Well, I took one lesson there, and I took one lesson in high school.
Okay, so you needed two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but pretty much everything else was all self-taught. And then I started writing lyrics and writing songs, and that developed in high school. And
Which I'll bet, like, I've always written songs, but I'll bet, like, people are curious, like, because just even hearing you say it, like, how does somebody come to the point where they're like, I think I'll write a song? Like, how do you even come to that point? Because there's so many people on the earth that have never written a song, don't know how to. You know, you talk to people, you go like, and that'll be like, how did you learn how to write songs? Like, I don't know, I just did it. Like,
yeah.
Like, do you have any thoughts about that? Like, how did you start writing
It's been
songs? Why?
So long. I mean, I think everybody goes through the like first song, like, I don't know. There's like usually like a pretty substantial moment happened, I think, for everybody who writes their first song. Like mine was like I got broken up by my first girlfriend.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, 100%. I could still probably play it.
I was about to say.
I hear it.
I don't even. I'd have to think about it for a minute.
Okay, so you don't.
It's all right.
remember
We'll
it.
just all sit here in silence while you think about it.
Like I'd have to write out the lyrics. But yeah, I wrote my first song, and it was about me. Like this, it was after my first girlfriend broke up with me, and so that's how I got on the train of songwriting.
You got
and
that
then,
teenage angst.
Yeah,
Feels
I don't
real
know if it was
hurty.
really angsty. It was more
Feels real hurty deep down in the heart.
And after that, I just tried to push myself to write more. Really.
So what drives you to write songs? Is it like you're feeling an emotion? Do you feel it building up over time? Do you just sit down and you go like, I'm going to write a song today for whatever reason? Or like...
It changes. It definitely changes because sometimes I'll write songs based on an emotion or a feeling or something that's happened. But also, too, sometimes I'll start writing a song, and I don't know that I'm writing a song probably in the moment, but I'll be like, I haven't done this before in a song. You know what I mean? Just mess around long enough, and it's like, oh, cool, now I can do this thing on a guitar, and let's put lyrics to it and stuff. It's never like the same process every time. It's different every single time.
Do you tend to start with music or lyrics or
It's
melody?
usually music or music and lyrics first. I can't do lyrics and then add music later. It just messes me up. It doesn't work. I think I tried doing that a long time ago, and it just doesn't work as easily.
It's not how it works for you.
Yeah.
See, I can't really relate. I don't write songs. I did write one song in my life.
You write?
Yeah, I wrote one
really?
song in my life once
What was
ever.
that song?
I don't remember what I called it. But
Do you know what it's about, or do you know anything
You
about
write
it?
code.
I barely remember it. I do write code, but not songs. It's not the same at all in any way, shape, or form. But
There's letters in it.
Music Row update. Previous on the last time we did this, jury
Last
was
week?
before the pandemic.
season.
Last season, jury was a Belmont finance dude.
Yeah, my title was information specialist. Thank you very much.
Now he is a developer.
Application developer.
Information specialist sounds like
It's like a huge come up.
information
Sounds like a fake job.
It doesn't sound like a fake job. It sounds like you should be like really important, like work for the government.
I feel like it's a job, like a title you get if you work for the mob. So you don't. It's
Yes.
like a no-show job, you
Yeah.
know, and they just send you the checks. Hey, I'm an information specialist. It's fine. Yeah, now I'm writing code and shit. But no, I only ever wrote one song, and I did not enjoy doing it. And I and I was bad at it. And I wrote it at 7-Eleven overnight. I brought my guitar because I used to work there.
At a
I did not-
7-Eleven? Oh, dang.
Oh man, back in the day, Jury worked at 7-Eleven, and it so happened to be like a half mile from where I was living at the time. And he worked the overnight shift, and I'm a night owl.
Yeah, this is like, what, 2009? You never would have known, Ryan.
So I would show up to his work in the middle of the night. All
As a
sorts of
ghost in the
times.
night.
As a ghost of the night. Nice tie-in. So I would show up at Jury's work all hours of the night, and we'd hang out, and he would like make a fresh pot of coffee for me, and we'd go have some cigarettes, step outside.
Hang out front like
It was a
3
great-
a.m.
It was a great time. Have you ever shared the story on the podcast of your most
Of Heidi?
special moment? No. Your most
Heidi.
your
Oh, the other
craziest
one.
moment at the 7-Eleven.
Yeah, I've had 2
Is it
crazy.
similar to my Subway experience?
It's a little cooler.
Oh, it's a little different. Both of these things. But the one he's talking about, one night I was at 7-Eleven, just playing games on my phone, as I did overnights at 7-Eleven. And this guy comes in, wearing like a sweater and like a hood. And then I was like, his face is covered, which I thought was weird because we live in San Diego. It's not cold. And he walks, and I like don't even realize what's happening. He walks up to the counter and pulls a gun and sticks it like, I don't know, it's like this far. Like he's standing where you are, on the other side of the counter. And he was like, give me all the money. And I was like, okay. And so I opened the register and gave him all the money, which you're supposed to only keep like $20 in the register at all times at night. There was like $900 in there. Like I didn't, like he made out for a 7-Eleven robbery.
Okay, in an alternate alternate universe, whatever, what if that same guy goes to that Subway?
He's shooting that guy. That dude's not making it.
Give me all the money.
You made the sandwich fucking wrong, bro.
Yeah. But after I went and I just posted on Facebook, like, I just got robbed at
He
gunpoint.
fucking be folding those dollar bills hamburger style.
Oh. Dude, I want to get a hamburger folded Subway now. Like, I want to see how that is. Is it, maybe it's better.
I still can't believe he was like, how do you want it folded? I'm like, what the hell?
Not a thing people ask.
Oh, God.
Damn.
No, but,
Where we go from here.
well, I'll tell you my other 7-Eleven story.
Yeah.
Do it.
So I was working at 7-Eleven one night, and this girl comes in. She seems like she might have been drinking a little. She's probably like upper 30s, like 38 to 45 range, And I was 23 maybe at the time. I don't know. But she comes in, and she's been drinking a little, but she goes and she buys like a, tall boy or something, some 1 a.m. gas station liquor purchase. Yeah. And she goes, can I just drink it out here, like on the sidewalk? And I was like, you're really not supposed to, but like I can't control what you do, but whatever. Yeah. So she goes and sits outside and starts drinking it, and I'm like, all right, whatever. She comes back in a few minutes later, and she introduces herself to me. She goes, my name's Heidi. She's like slurring her words. Yeah, this is the Heidi. She's like slurring her words a little bit, and she's like, do you want to come out? Hang out with me out front. And I was like, I really gotta like work. I have nothing to do. I'm playing games on my phone. I was like, and she's like, okay, just come hang out with me, whatever, it'll be fun. And I'm like, all right, maybe I'll think about it. So she goes back outside, and she comes back 10 minutes later. She's like, are you coming? What? And I was like, all right, fuck, I'll go. So I walk outside with this chick in front of the store, and she's like talking, like, and she's like a fancy dress, she has like makeup on, like she came from some event, And she gets in closer to me, and then she tries to kiss me.
What?
And I've told you this, but you don't remember this? And I push, and I'm like, hey, and I push her away. I'm like, not about this. And I go back inside. And I see her go around like the side of the building, like to get to like the back. And I'm like, what the fuck is she doing back there? So I go out, and I got to see what she's doing. Like I go around the corner, and she's like standing in the dark. I'm like just standing there drinking. And I'm like, you all right? And she's like, yeah, and she comes up and like pushes me against the wall and like reaches her hand down my pants.
What?
Yeah.
I remember that part.
Yeah. At which point I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's
I push
odd.
her off me. I'm like, hey, like I'm not, like we don't need to be, I'm not trying to get raped behind a 7-Eleven right now that I work at. Like this is not about to happen.
I work at. Picture that little detail.
If it was one that I don't work at, maybe, but I work here.
Got raped at a 7-Eleven that you worked at. You're supposed to be the king of your kingdom. And you got raped.
And so I push her off me. I'm like, hey, what the fuck? I go back inside.
Sounds like an Office episode.
And now it's like, probably 2:30 in the morning. She's been there like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours at this point. And she comes back in and she's like, you want to come back outside? I'm like, I do not. And
What'd she look like?
She was like a, fairly attractive lady. But she was like drunk and she was like old. And she's like, high 30s, low 40s. She's probably 15 years older than me. And it's like 3 a.m. and she's like drunk,
Yeah.
Ugh. And we're like in a little bit of the white trash part of town. And she comes trying to buy another thing and I won't sell it to her because it's after 2 a.m. And she gets all mad. She asks to use the bathroom. I'm like, all right. So she goes to the bathroom. I'm like, I just called the cops. I was just like, hey, I got this drunk bitch here. Can you come like take care of it? I don't know. And they came. It took them like an hour as she was hanging out there. They came and
Did you say to the cops, I got a drunk bitch?
Probably not. All right. I don't know why you gotta call me out like that.
Did they
I
call...
probably said like, I got this, I got a drunk lady, whatever.
You for sure said like patron. You're like, I got a drunk patron. Did you have you thought about like, did they do like a code 711 drunk bitch?
No.
I got a code 17. Code 17.
And then eventually they came and they like handcuffed her and put her on like she sat down for a while, and I felt a little bad. I was like, she's just drunk trying to like get some. Like, you need to arrest her,
Just need to remove her from the premises.
And I asked them, I was like, you gonna arrest her? And they're like, we'll just drive her home. And I was like, all right, that's fine.
I believe they call that the MILF in the night.
It was. I had a MILF in the night experience. It was wild.
This episode's now called MILF in the Night.
God. It was a whole thing.
I feel like what they should do is what they do with like animals that you don't want in your house or around your area. They put them in like a crate and they move them halfway across the like town, put them somewhere else or something.
What?
They like
They relocate it.
relocate. You're supposed to be at this 7-Eleven.
You do that with a 40-year-old woman. Just put her somewhere in the forest. Like,
She'll find her way
back now.
If you love someone, you got to let them go. And if they come back,
That would be terrifying.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine if I had seen her again. Maybe one day she'll listen to this episode and call me.
San Diego.
This is San Diego and like I don't know, 2008, maybe 9. I don't know.
So I thought we could talk about something a
just
little more like
graduating high school.
relevant, something in the news. So we're in season 8 of Dexter right now.
Yes,
Where
we
do we
are.
think this is going?
Relevant.
Yeah, it's a little old, except for the last season.
I think that
last
season aired
year.
about the same time as the Heidi story.
Well, the new season just aired recently.
That's
though.
true, and it was
Yeah,
dope.
we're getting there. We're
Okay.
getting
Yeah,
there.
no spoilers because Ryan hasn't seen it yet.
True.
But it was actually
Jury and I have
phenomenal.
both seen it, but Ryan is not. I'd introduced it to him like a few months ago.
So,
Yeah.
so Zach, back to you being a musician and all. How do we become roommates?
That's a really good question. I'm trying to remember how that did happen.
I'll tell you.
I know where
Here's
it
my
started.
experience of you. We met on the show,
Yeah.
so that's how I knew you existed. And then I remember at one point,
You text me for his number. You text me and you were like, "Give me Zach's number. I need a guitar player for something."
way before that.
I don't even know this information.
But way
I
be-
just did it.
oh yeah,
No.
no. Way before that, I just remember during the pandemic summer,
Yeah.
like going to work and hearing you play guitar loud as fuck with your door open, just playing it to the world.
Who will
Because-
hear it now?
Yeah, which
So
we should
which-
emphasize that he happened to live in the same apartment complex as us.
Right, which was an interesting coincidence. I don't know if we talked about it on the last episode.
think
or
we
not.
did.
Probably.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So like you came, we met you. Turns out you lived in the same apartment complex. So then I knew that. And but I remember during the pandemic, so we all live in the same apartment building even still.
Yeah.
And 50% of the people who lived there left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why I played it so loud. Because
I
I was
know.
like, I don't care. Who's gonna
Exactly.
hear me now?
So back then, like
Yeah.
in our building, are we in the A building?
Yeah, you're
In
Yeah.
the A building,
I do not know.
there were 3 people. It was me and Nathan. It was you and Marcus, and it was
Somebody
Mandala.
below us. Oh no, I think some. Oh, maybe there was that.
Eventually, it was just the 3
Yeah,
units.
it was just the 3 of us.
Yeah,
Right,
And me and
and
my wife
so-
are 2 buildings over.
Yeah.
And so I would go by your house, and you'd be like blasting an electric guitar because no one cared anymore, and the world was ending.
I was like, might as well just like tear it up. Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, he's got kind of a cool sound. It was like all war on drugsy. And yeah. And so I think at some point we talked. And then the next time I remember like really meeting you, I had bought my Thunderbird, my pandemic purchase of a vintage Thunderbird.
Yeah.
And I was like out there working on it, and you and your roommate were out. Oh, wait. I'm totally getting confused.
Yeah, because like there was a point where we would always hang out on the balcony.
Yeah. You and Marcus would hang out on the balcony, like having cigarettes.
Yeah, we would hang out on the balcony,
Which
and
is
then
like a
you
super
would just...
great segue to the next song, but we're going to keep talking for a second.
You know what it was though? It was when we had was it the tornado or something like that?
Right
yeah,
at the,
the
begin- in, like,
there
the
was the
beginning
lights-
of the pandemic.
Remember
Yeah,
when
I
that?
remember the tornado.
Remember when that one point when all the lights were off and you came home? We're just like, let's all hang out, and I had my like headlamp, and it was just the 3 of us.
Yeah,
that is
that
the
was
same
the Straight Line
time-
Wednesday.
The what?
Oh, I was gonna say that
Yeah,
was,
we lost. We were hanging out, and we were playing like a game.
yeah, that was the day that I learned that Zach is not a huge fan of board games, or he does not a huge fan of me and my wife.
What are you talking
One
about?
or the other. Because what had happened was
What?
the power had shut off. Right, power shuts off. I didn't know you that well at this time. I talked to you like 3 times. To be fair.
Okay.
To be fair.
I'll do the sound effect.
Okay. The power had shut off. And you were we lived in the same apartment complex, and you were walking by, and me and my wife were in my car,
Yeah.
and you saw us parked. You walked up. You're like, hey, guys. You're like, hey, I just bought like 2 giant bags of ice. I can't fit.
That's right.
I said, do you want a bag of ice? Because, the fridges are off, power's out. And exactly. And
I gave you a bag of
And you
ice.
gave us a bag of ice, and we were very appreciative of that bag of ice. But at that same time, I said, hey, Zach, FYI, we're going to go down to the studio with Ryan, which this didn't end up
That's
happening.
right.
And we're going to play some, I don't know if you're a board game guy, but you want to come play some games. And you were like, I'm not into board games.
I can't believe I said
That's what
that.
you said. And I realized later in life that you just didn't like me at the time. What the fuck, Zach?
It probably wasn't that I didn't like you.
No,
I just
we
probably
didn't know each other that
you,
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like an excuse.
And
But
I was like, I don't
Which
know.
I told
This
you,
reminded me
comfortable.
of Stand By Me. When,
I would have done the same thing.
When Chris Chambers is talking to Gordy LaChance, and Chris goes like, Gordy, he's crying, right? And he's going, my dad doesn't love me. And then Chris says, he doesn't know you.
It's
like
literally
that.
the exact same thing.
Yeah. All right, you guys need to watch Stand By Me. Apparently, it's been a minute.
Last time I saw Stand By Me,
We watched it.
I realized this is
Sorry,
not
he
as good of
says,
a movie as I
my
remember.
dad hates me, and he says, he doesn't hate you, he doesn't know you.
Oh, wow. That hits way harder when you say it like that.
Right? That's what I thought.
No, Stand By Me, last time I watched it, I was like unimpressed. I was like, I thought I remembered this being more.
Yeah, sometimes you're disappointing.
See, I just have really high standards for the media that I consume, unlike
Like
some
The
people that I
Goonies?
know, like Ryan, who's a media whore.
You're just bad. You're really bad at like accepting things in their original era.
It's not that I'm bad
you
at
judge
it.
them
Here's
by
a
like
question.
your current
It's that I
standards.
actively choose to not give them any grace. I choose
Yeah.
specifically, I judge things based on their merit in this time, and some things hold up and some things don't.
Here's a question. How do you feel about Rookie of the Year?
I don't have a lot of strong feelings about it, to be honest, because I've only seen it like twice ever.
Don't let him see it. It'll ruin it.
I'll watch it. Wait, it's not a cartoon, obviously.
No.
But I've seen it a long
There's
time ago.
so many funny lines in that.
Because I don't watch cartoons.
You know what the movie is, right?
Yeah, I've seen it, but it was like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I barely.
Did we talk about
barely
Sandlot
remember.
last time?
Sandlot is a movie that holds up. That's different. Stand By Me feel like it
Here's
doesn't
a
hold up.
question.
Sandlot
though.
does.
Why?
I don't know. Like, I'd have to like really watch it and analyze it to really like pick that apart.
I was listening to Pod Meets World recently. It's a
Boy Meets
podcast
World.
It's a World podcast.
about Boy Meets World, hosted
Okay.
by Topanga, Sean, and Eric.
Yeah.
And they had on
What are all their real
Yaya
names, Ryan?
from Sandlot. Their real names?
Uh-huh.
Dude, he
Will Friedle, Danielle Fishel, and Ryder Strong.
Nice. Well
Anyway,
done, sir.
thank you. So, so they had on Yaya from the Sandlot.
dude's jacked now, by the way.
He's jacked. That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. He is. So he apparently he was an extra in like a few of the first episodes, just like 2 of them.
Interesting.
He had like 1 or 2 lines,
We gotta go
And,
find those episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm rewatching Boy Meets World right now along with the podcast.
Oh, you are?
They're rewatching the entire show together and then going through every single scene.
That's so.
That's
And
wild.
so I'll rewatch the episode. Now, the first time I listened to it, I listened to the podcast first, and then I watched the episode, and to me, it felt like it took away all the magic. I watched the show, and the whole time I was thinking about their behind-the-scene things, and
You got to watch it first. You got to watch it, then listen.
So now I watch the episode, and then I listen to the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my Sandlot thing. He's super jacked. That's my point.
Yeah.
Well, I think I know we said this like 20 minutes ago, but should we get into another song?
Sure.
What's the next song we're going to be hearing, Zach?
So this song is a song called Addict, and I wrote it about a few different things a while ago, but it has come back and forth into my life with different things. But anyway, I originally wrote it about this one time that I started smoking cigarettes like a lot, and I was like, I'm
What a
addicted.
druggie.
I'm really addicted. And also I was using that, and I was also thinking about an ex-girlfriend that I was with at the time. It might have been at the same time that I wrote the song. I don't know. But, and I felt like it was an addiction between the relationship and addiction between a drug, you know what I mean? Or something like that. Or cigarettes at the time. Yeah. That's how that started. It wasn't really deep. I just thought, I honestly came up with it off, like, on the cuff. It was just really, the lyrics just kind of came to me, and I was like,
The lyrics just match like.
yeah.
All right, so this is Addict.
The song was released last spring, 2020, and this song is called Addict.
Mama, I'm sorry I've taken up smoking, but maybe you'll understand with what I've been going through. Yes, I know it's addictive, it'll probably kill me, but a mile away there's a girl in a building, and she's worse than the nicotine I can't rid myself of. Oh, I want to. Oh, I want to. Oh, I want to, but I cannot seem to let go. Dangerous scene. Oh, I'm stuck in a mood filled with silver and gold, and it's bursting apart at the seams. And it's worse than the girl who's a mile away, who I try to forget at the end of the day. And I want to. Oh, I want to. Oh, I want to, but I cannot seem to let go.
So that was Addict, and I know the recorded version of that you did at home during the pandemic,
Yeah.
which is a lot different than what you were doing back in 2019 when we interviewed you last. So,
Yeah.
like, I want to hear the journey to where you are now from where you were, but take me back to 2019. What was Zach Ummer doing musically back then?
So 2019, I had a full-fledged band. We were playing every other month or so at a place called Douglas Corner, which is now not there anymore.
Oh, was that
Jerry went
I
to that
closed during
show.
the pandemic? Oh, that's right. I did go to that.
You
Yeah.
went to one of the shows.
One show there.
Yeah, that place closed during the pandemic, but we were playing there like every other month. And actually, in January of 2020, I played my last show at the Basement, and then we were supposed to play a show in like March, and then right as that show was coming up, there was the tornado, which just like destroyed everything.
Which, if you're not in Nashville, we had a tornado.
Yeah, early March 2020.
Yeah.
It hit the city, which is so rare.
Right. And I remember I don't know if it was I think the tornado happened, and then, or maybe it was, I forget. Is it the tornado happened, or there was possibly another one that was about to happen? And we were like, do we want to play the show? Do we want to stay safe, play it safe, whatever? And then I was ultimately like, let's just make let's just not do it. What are you guys doing?
I'm just adjusting my mic. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's all good. We were going to play another show. We had to cancel it because we were, COVID. We didn't know what was going on. We were just like, let's just cancel it because safety for that, and because the weather was just all over the place. And then after that, like during COVID,
I remember, by the way, with the tornado side.
Yeah.
So I remember back then. So I went to church, and they were like, guys. They had an Australian preacher. They're like, guys,
I was wondering why.
there was a terrible tornado this week, as we all know, and we're going to try to help everybody. And this week, we're going to be putting together groups to go clean up Nashville and help with all of our neighbors in East Nashville who have been affected by this terrible tornado. And then, so I'm like, man, and we're like, it was like this crazy time, and you're like, because I remember we were looking out our back apartment windows, you could kind of almost see it and all the crazy lightning and everything.
Man, the freaking clouds are so dark.
So that whole week felt like, if you've ever been in a situation where there was a natural disaster of any kind, you know that like for a while things feel a little different,
Yeah.
And so we're in this time of like, whoa, Nashville's coming together to help all the tornado. We're on the news because this terrible disasters happened to us, right? Well, like the next week at church, the next week was the pandemic. So the next week at church, they're like, guys, there's a terrible pandemic going around right now. So here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be having greeters open the doors. People are not going to be opening the doors. We're not going to be shaking hands at church. I'm sorry. We're going to be missing out on that, right? So, but like, we're not going to touch. We're not going to hug. We're just being real safe right now. And I was like, what happened to the tornado people? Like,
They don't care about them
nobody got
anymore.
together to help with the tornado because now we're worried about the pandemic. And then the next week at church, they're like, all right, so guys, here's the deal. We're not going to do church anymore because of the pandemic.
Just stop carrying one by one.
Yeah, like every single week was a new disaster. And they're like, we're going to keep doing church. Here's the things we're doing now to make that work. Then the following week was, actually, we can't do this anymore. Everybody's staying at home. And then the lockdowns came. So sorry, that was just some context.
Which
back
hold
to
on.
you.
Can we
That's
just
perfect.
really quick? Can we just really quick?
Yeah.
really.
Address something
Uh-huh.
that I'm going to start by saying. A lot of people died from COVID.
Yeah.
A tragedy. Like so many. It was crazy, right? But like, do you kind of miss it? Because I kind of miss it. Like
I miss
like
the stimulus packages for sure.
Oh well, not. I mean, well, obviously
of
those
which-
are phenomenal.
That's what I bought my tape machine with.
There you go.
What a good song.
but even
The energy.
But even like outside of the stimulus, like I gotta stay home for like I was.
Yeah.
It was like the happiest time.
I had just
of my
started
life. Like yeah, lots of people were dying. I got COVID too, and I'm still suffering from the
Yeah.
effects of it. So like,
Are you still?
come at me, bro.
Are you still without taste and smell?
No, I have them, but everything tastes like shit.
You smell like
It's called
shit.
parosmia. Google
No.
it. No, huh?
I will say,
Smells
like-
bad. Smells pretty bad. Yeah.
I remember that spring.
I go into a restaurant. I'm like, ugh, it's rough.
That COVID spring in Nashville was so beautiful. It was like
It was.
a longer
It was like
than
the
normal
best spring that
Well,
Nashville's
the
ever
weather was
had.
perfect. There was not any smog.
Yeah, we were taking our dog to the park like 4 times a week.
Okay, here's a question.
Yeah.
Was it beautiful, or did you just not notice it until the fact that you had to like notice
Until you
it?
had time to stop and smell the
Well, no,
roses.
because I never stopped.
That's true.
I work because I work underground in a hidden studio. I kept going. I kept going to
a
work.
hideout, if you may.
Yeah. I was born in the dark. So I never stopped. I mean, I kept working, and I just always worked alone anyway. So I kept doing that. But
Cologne.
I remember when I would go outside for my walks or whatever, and on weekends, like the sky was bluer.
Yeah.
The earth was healing. Remember that?
The earth was healing.
right?
Yeah.
The sky was bluer. There was no
Yeah.
smog. There was no traffic in Nashville.
You could
which is
go
incredible.
anywhere so fast. Now,
We
everything
went
was
down.
closed,
we went
but-
downtown and had food on like at the end of Broadway, and just hung out on the steps down there by the river. And there was like no
Right.
one
Which,
out.
if you don't live in Nashville, you don't know that Broadway
never
is a
dead.
fucking shit show. Like,
Yeah,
you can't. There's
it's
nowhere
just
to park.
straight up chaos 24/7.
Exactly. It's
Maybe
rough.
not 24/7, but
Except for during the pandemic, in which case it was actually enjoyable to go.
yeah,
True.
pandemic spring was wonderful. However,
The pandemic spring.
2020 obviously got real nuts, and things got
yeah.
crazy and dark and wild and all that. And there was a point in it where I was like, when will it ever end?
Yeah.
But that spring, good time.
Yeah.
That spring,
It was a
right
good
when it
time.
started, little as you know, 2 years later.
Yeah.
Well, in the beginning of 2020, I just started a job, and then I don't know. It was like I think I started like a month in. We're like, we're gonna take off for 7 weeks, and then 7 weeks went by, and then I started working again.
Yeah.
But like
we
I
were off
didn't
around
do
3 months.
anything. It was like the most, and that's honestly part of the reason that I was like, well, one of the other songs which we're not gonna play tonight, but like, or that I'm not gonna play tonight.
Is it a recorded song, though?
Yeah, it's a recorded song.
Where can people find it?
People can find it on Spotify, iTunes.
Yeah. We'll
Zach
at the end
Ummer?
of the show, we'll play it. We'll play it in the outro.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But that song, I mean, like, that was just born out of me being like, okay, also, my roommate at the time, which wasn't you, Marcus, he left I think he left to go to Pittsburgh or New York or whatever.
Mm.
He was gone for like a whole month, maybe. I don't remember what it was. But I was just so bored and alone and like had nothing, no one to talk to, nothing to do.
And our
You
whole
could've played some
apartments
board
had cleared
games,
out.
but, you know.
Exactly.
So not
You
there's
didn't
like
see
3
anybody.
people living in this whole building, and your roommate's also gone.
My roommate's gone. All of the places that I would go hiking were closed.
How
So
do you close just like the nature?
I think that's so weird.
Like,
I
you
was so
like, what if you just
PO'd.
went and just walked?
Yeah, I was so pissed.
Like, they ain't gonna stop you, right?
Yeah. It just kind of felt like everybody died.
Yeah.
But also,
They did.
that's when we all got to
I was
live.
gonna say a lot of people died.
I don't know. I loved it. Honestly, I loved every minute. I got to work from home for the first time that I ever did, and I made the decision I will never get a job where I don't get to work
Well,
from
I mean,
home.
it's changed how everybody has worked.
It's changed the whole
Game.
the whole country,
Yeah.
like in such an extreme, in every aspect, like in everything that we do, things are a little bit different now.
Yeah.
You think about things different.
It's true.
When there's too many people around, I'm like, what are all these fucking people doing here?
yeah.
Like, I'm still like in the mindset of like 6 feet, motherfucker. Like, back up.
Have you noticed how busy and filled up Nashville seems even since the pandemic?
Oh my
it's even
God.
more so.
yeah,
It's
I feel like
crazy.
you can't go anywhere. It's wild.
It's nuts. But yeah, that's how the tape machine idea kind of started. I was just kind of like depressed as hell, and I was like, I'm gonna write a song, and I was like, ooh, I should write a song. It was like in this sort of like vein of like Elliott Smith and like Iron and Wine, very like stripped back, kind of back to the basics of like how I started doing stuff when I was in college, which is like on a tape recorder, or not a tape recorder, but like just like a simple recording machine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to the point where I was like, screw it. I'm going to buy a tape machine, like an 8-track, like Elliott Smith would have done, and just go straight analog. And I don't know if I'm going to mix it. I don't know if I have somebody else mix it, whatever. And then recorded that first song, which was called Wishing for a Better Life. And then I think I wrote that song, started with Addict on it, which is the song we just did, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember which order we did it in. And then I did that one. Yeah. And then you ended up mixing the two.
That's so true. Yeah. So you were playing with a full band. The pandemic happens. And I remember, like, I don't remember all the details, but I know like a bunch of guys from your band like moved back home.
Drummer moved back to Maine. Joe, the guitar player that I still am friends with, he still lives here, and we'll probably end up playing together at some point once I start doing more full band stuff again, which will be different from what it was before.
Yeah.
Bass player is playing with a different act. but we're still friends, and he probably would still play with me. But yeah, the
It's
drummer
like
was
COVID broke up the band.
Yeah, COVID kind of broke up the band. JR ended up moving back to Maine, and he was a very big glue part. At least for me, it was. He could sing, he could play drums, you know.
But it did shift how you're doing what you're doing, and now your new stuff is like a whole different vibe.
Yeah.
Like having heard your old music versus the new stuff, now you're doing like the kind of Elliott Smith vibe.
Yeah.
Because of the at-home tape machine thing.
Kind of. When I was in college, before I started doing, before any of the stuff that you hear on like Spotify, or if you go look my name up or whatever.
Zach Ummer.
That's
Ummer. I don't know if we've ever actually said it since we
like
started.
summer,
I just want
but
to make sure to get
it's
that
like
out there.
summer, but drop the S.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But yeah, before I moved to Nashville, I did a bunch of like home recordings on like a digital recorder, and a lot of it was inspired by not Elliott Smith. I didn't know who Elliott Smith was at the time, honestly, which is ridiculous now that I think about it. But it was all based on like a lot of the like 2010, like 2008 to 2010, like folk movement, where it was like Sufjan Stevens and Iron and Wine and Blind Pilot and a bunch of that sort of stuff, where it's like a lot of double vocals or like really soft vocals. And I was doing that a bunch. So when I bought the tape machine, I was like, I'm just going to go back to doing that for a minute, because I loved doing that and I felt super creative doing it. Why not start doing it again? Because I have no one else to work with. And also I want to get back into doing my own stuff completely, you know, myself. Yeah.
Well, speaking of not doing it on your own, I've heard that you're in a band now.
No.
A whole ass band.
I'm in no band. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what I've heard. I've seen the posters around. I've seen the
I'm gonna
shows.
let-
I've seen it live.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, tell me about the band you're in. How did
this
that
is a
happen?
fancy, newfangled band.
Oh man, our fucking lead singer's a dick.
That's what I hear.
No. So Ryan came up to me.
Me.
You. Ryan Pulley. Pulley.
I was born in the dark.
When was this? Okay, so you heard me playing music in my apartment.
Yeah.
Super loud AF.
Yeah.
As fuck.
I love that. My brain
AF
did
as
the
fuck.
same thing. When you said AF, I was like, why didn't he just say as fuck? And then you corrected it.
Yeah. And then I just got a text from you. And obviously this was after the last podcast episode.
Oh, I texted you?
Yeah, you texted me.
Yeah, so I texted Jury, as you stated
yeah,
earlier.
exactly.
And then you
Yeah,
texted
yeah.
me and you said something like, hey, do you want to play guitar on this thing that I'm working on? Or something similar to that. Do you want to play guitar on this thing that I'm working on? And I was like, first of all, I didn't think I was a very good guitarist at that point. I was like, I am terrible. Don't know why he's asking me.
For the record, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm okay.
That was some solid fake it till you make it to not say that
Oh, yeah.
and to just do it.
And then you were like, oh, it's this song. And I was like, okay. And then I tried all these different things and you were like, cool, it works. And I was like, really? But yeah. And that
So-
was Forever Baby. And that's how Night Tides was born,
Yeah.
essentially. I'll let you
So-
kind of go into the next part, though, because you know the backstory, too.
Yeah, well, so basically, July 5th, 2020.
You know more than I do, see?
I was you and I, Jerry, had hung out on July 4th with my sister. We shot fireworks
My
or
wife.
whatever. And so
We did do that.
Oh, yeah,
I was
in the
there.
rain.
were you there?
Because my friend Tom and I came.
Oh, yeah,
Granted-
that's right. We didn't know you then that much either.
Right.
And it was like a little weird. Like, was we in... Do you remember this?
Maybe that's why this happened.
Yeah, because we
Maybe.
all
The
went...
The fireworks.
We had launched some fireworks and then went
It was
to
at
another place.
It was at the park in East Nashville.
Yeah, up on the hill.
Yep.
So we went there to launch fireworks again, and it started to rain.
Yep.
And
He was there with the rain.
yeah, you were there with it was you and some other buddy. But I remember because we didn't know you really. We only knew a little bit.
Yeah.
And you and your buddy, whatever,
Tom.
Tom. You and Tom.
Who worked with Corinne and I as well.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
You guys were like hanging out under this tree, trying not to get rained on. And we kept saying,
We're a bunch of wimps.
do you remember this? We kept saying, we were like, do you guys want to light some? and you guys were like, nah. And
Yeah,
we
I do
left, and we were
remember
like,
that.
they were kind of lame about this, weren't
Yes,
they?
for sure.
And
yeah,
we were
yeah.
100%
Like,
driving
why
away
are
like,
they lying?
they were kind of lame about it.
Damn,
guys are
you guys
hiding-
are driving home. You're like, Zach's a fucking dick.
Yeah, we were like, why doesn't he want to light
Why do you wanna
fireworks?
light
Why are they
fireworks?
hiding
It's
from
so
the
fun.
rain?
I forgot about that completely until you brought it up now.
That's so weird.
So yeah, that was that. And so anyway, so I started writing. So July 5th was a Sunday, and so I'm like, it's the weekend. I'm gonna have fun. But I was dating a girl at the time, and she was out of town.
Yeah.
And then you guys, we had just hung out, and we hung out all the time. But that we had just hung out, so I was like, I don't need to call them again.
Yeah.
So I was like, what am I gonna do with my day? And I was like, you know what? It would be so fun for me to record my own song, my own music song,
Yeah.
instead of just producing other people. And so I started making the song that became Forever Baby. And then I did a bunch of the stuff, and then I was like, it would be cool to have a session play, like have somebody else play guitar. And I think that summer was just a summer that I was like hearing you play out your door
Yeah.
and like running into you and having random cigarettes with you and your roommate. And then I
Yeah.
was like, Zach's pretty cool. Let me just have him come do it.
That's so interesting.
And so I was just going to have you as like a session player. It was just a trial. I was like, let me find out if he's good in the studio, because also I'm always trying to like find out who new good musicians are
Yeah.
to like play on things in the future. And I'm like, I'll just have that guy do it.
Yeah.
And you were like, I knew you weren't like a professional everyday studio musician player. So I was
Right.
like, he'll probably just do it for free. And then I like randomly happened into a bunch of money like that day.
Was
and
it
so I
'cause
was
of the
like,
pandemic?
it might have been. So I was like, I had
Get
like
that stimulus.
I had a bunch of money in my bank account I didn't expect, and I was like, okay, I should just pay this guy. And so I just paid you.
You did?
I did, yeah. I gave you $150.
I don't
So
remember
it was
that.
just like kind of a standard.
Wow, he really
Nashville
shouldn't have
session
paid you
player
then.
rate. Yeah, I paid you. So for Forever Baby, I
should
just
be like, no, he didn't. Pay me more.
I paid you out as like a session player, and so it was like, this is my band, I'm paying you. And then when we went to go do the next song, Your Window, I like asked you about it again, and you were like, oh, bro, don't pay me. Like, just I just want to be a part of it. It's cool. Don't pay
Yeah.
me. And
That
so-
sounds right.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a Zach thing.
And
That's
like,
that's your vibe. You got this like real chill vibe. In fact, when we talk about you when you're not here, usually what I say to people, and what I feel like I've heard Ryan say similar things, which is like, Zach's great because he's just Zach no matter who's around. Like, you don't change who
Yeah.
you are
I was
based on who
telling-
you're
that's like my
around.
number one thing I say about
I was
you.
telling somebody about that recently. I don't remember who it was. It might have been Stephanie. Stephanie's the girl that I'm with right now. Hopefully forever.
Shout out.
Unless she hates me for some reason.
Dang it,
Um,
Stephanie. Come on. Zach's a great guy. He's
really
always
like
Zach
Zach.
no matter what.
But no, yeah, I was telling somebody about it recently that you had said that, and we were probably because we were talking about it recently, and you said something like, "You're just you," and you're
Yeah.
just
Yeah, that's what we like about you. That
everybody
you're just-
likes you. That
You're
kind
just
of thing.
kind of you no
You
matter
know who
who's
doesn't
around.
like me?
Who?
The guy at Subway.
Do we know that guy's name? Can we call him out by name?
You know,
Probably like
no, but I
Tanner.
mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of people who don't like you because you are just you wherever you go.
Sure.
But
And I think
also,
there's
I
a lot
feel
of-
like you probably don't care that much
No.
because
I care to a certain extent, but at the same
Right, 'cause
time,
you're
it's like
human.
at the end of the day,
if they like you, like you. If they don't, they don't.
At the
Yeah.
end
But
of
you're
the
just gonna be
day,
who you are.
It's all love. But yeah, no, realistically, that is like one of my everybody I talk to about you. That's like always what I say is like, Zach's just so good at just being Zach no matter where he goes. Because that's not how I grew up at
Yeah.
all. I grew up learning that you need to like be really careful about how you act around different kinds of people. And there's strong advantages to that in
Sure.
a different kind of way.
yeah,
But I'm very like tuned in to like this person is like this, so I'm gonna be this way to kind of like probably best fit them.
yeah,
That serves me at times, but like living with you especially and just watching you overall, I'm like that really helped me when I started going and doing online dating, was watching
Yeah.
you. I'm like, Zach just says what he thinks, and some people it doesn't work for.
sure.
Like, cause I remember, like, number one thing, I remember you being on Hinge, and you'd like leave voice memos for girls, and you would say things, and I'm like, that's gonna offend them. Like, she might be offended by that. She might take it this way. And then I realized over time, I was like,
That's
oh,
just how I would normally say it.
Yeah,
Why should I
exactly.
hide behind some facade
Yes,
or some shit?
You
I'm
shouldn't.
like, that's
Everyone
right.
should aspire to be a little more like Zach.
I was like, okay, so wait. Because at first I'm like, Zach shouldn't be saying that. And then I realized, wait, every girl who would be super offended by what he just said is going to stop talking to him. And that's great because he's selecting them out. And then
Yeah,
only
it's
girls
just-
who would get along with Zach will talk to him. And that's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's how I am with everybody, though. It's not just women.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just
It's with
everybody.
literally everybody.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
like my
there
favorite
are
thing
some
about
there have
you.
been some bummers in my life where I'm like, I really like that dude, you know, like, but he decided to, you know, take me, you know, remove me from his friend group because I was just being me. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's gotta lead to some bummers here and there.
But
But
at the end of the
overall, I
day,
think it's a better way to be.
It leads you to
The people who fuck with you.
exactly,
Yeah.
which at this point is you guys.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's not going to change.
So the people who fuck with Zach are into it and are just like,
Yeah.
Zach's amazing, and want to keep fucking with Zach.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to pretend to be somebody else or be careful
Yeah.
what you say. You just like get to be Zach.
Yeah,
I think that's
true.
like one of the best things about Zach.
yeah.
Yeah. We're big
Thanks.
fans.
So then you just started playing for Night Tides for free, and initially Night Tides was me, Ryan Poole,
Right.
and then you and me, I moved in with you after Forever Baby, but before your window. And so then
Right.
I moved in with the guy who played guitar on my song, basically.
Right. Because before that, you were living with me and my wife.
No, I was living with Nathan at that time.
Oh, you're right. There was a little gap there.
yeah,
Yep.
You moved around these apartments like a whore. You've been in every room in the fucking building.
I did.
Just to
And
make that
how-
clear,
He's
Ryan is
a
whore.
roommate whore.
I have lived in 3, and you've lived in multiple too.
Dude, you've lived with everybody in our band, including our photographer, except for Sean.
That's true.
Yet.
I need to move in
Yeah.
with Sean.
You need to
apparently.
move in with Sean.
That's that. Well, that won't work.
I think the only friends that get solidified as real friends are friends that you at one point lived with.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to happen for you.
Yeah.
Like every close friend of yours that I know, you've lived with at some point.
Oh, we're close friends.
That's true. I live.
Oh. Well, you live together. You can't get much closer.
Oh,
15 feet
Zach,
away.
my close friend. So we I remember sitting on the couch with you, and like we'd be talking about Night Tides, and you'd be like, "Our song." Your song, and I would be like. I would feel when you said our song, I would be like, huh, like that's my like, and then you'd correct it or whatever. And so part of me was like, huh, he's identifying with the song, like this is a us thing, but it's a my thing. I had that like 3-year-old feeling, you know?
Yeah.
But there was another part of me that really liked that somebody else was interested in the songs and cared about it besides just me, and
Sure.
it wasn't just me alone.
Right.
And I was kind of like paying attention to that feeling where like I was like, Zach kind of seems like he wants to be a part of this. Do I want that? Do I not want that? Do I want other people, or do I want it to be just me? And then to me, what happened is we got in Music City Mayhem,
that was the big
Yeah.
breaking
That was a big
point.
pusher for you guys.
which here in Nashville, Latin 100 independent radio station, they're the indie station.
Yeah.
They do a big competition every year to play at a big concert, and we got in it. And I'd been hearing about this competition for like 10 years, and then we very surprisingly got invited to be a part of it. And then,
I was just on board from there.
right, and I was like, okay, I cannot do this alone. I need people, and we were doing it together, and you had
Yeah.
always wanted to be a part of it. I never thought I would ever do an artist thing in Nashville, so I never even thought I would be a part of it.
Yeah.
And in that moment, we were like, all right, we're going to friggin' try everything we can do to win this thing.
Yep.
And
And,
then you
so,
And then I was just kind of ingrained in it.
and
at
then
that
you were
point.
in.
Yeah.
And then we were like, Nathan, like, you hadn't even met Nathan yet, but I was like, my friend Nathan's good at guitar. We should have him play the other parts. Like,
Yep.
we need 2 guitar players. And so we asked Nathan to be in it. And if you win the competition, you play a live show. So we're like, okay, Nathan, we need to start practicing together. And so the first Night Tides practice was you, me, and Nathan just playing. And we're like, we'll get
That's
a
right.
drummer and a bass player later. And we learned all the songs. And
Yep.
then AJ joined us on drums. And then we're like, well, cool, we'll hire Lauren on bass.
Yep.
And we were off to the races. And yada, yada, yada.
Right.
It's 2 years later. And we're a band now. We're called Night Tides.
So now I'm part of Night Tides.
Wow.
And I do my solo stuff. And I'm kind of working on some other stuff too.
What's the other stuff? 2.
The other stuff too is it's full band stuff again, but it's got more of a specified sound, I guess. The old stuff.
What sound is that?
Well, I'm a big War on Drugs fan. I wouldn't say I'm a big shoegaze fan, but I'm a fan of a lot of different shoegaze types of bands, and I'm a big Ryan Adams fan and Death Cab for Cutie. So it's kind of, pulling all those 3 or 4 or 5, whatever, together. And, just like thick kind of guitar stuff. Whereas in the past, it felt like very acoustic driven, and then the other people played stuff on top of mine.
Thick and ambient.
Yes, 100%. That's what it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that genre.
You haven't.
I don't hate that.
Have you
genre.
even heard
I'm being
War
a
on
little-
Drugs?
I have heard War on Drugs, but I've always told you, this, that I love empty space in music.
Yeah.
I like stop times. I like that silence moments. That is always big for me, and so I tend to not be a fan of the ambient stuff.
Damn, I'll have to write a song for him.
You gotta about me.
But yeah,
I have liked a lot of that stuff in the past. Like
Yeah.
I like Frightened Rabbit, which was one that was like kind of earlier in that boom.
Frightened Rabbit is
very
on the
ambient.
ambient side. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like one of the earlier ones that I did like, and like when the ambient sound was starting to become like the big thing. I feel like maybe my timeline's
I wouldn't
a
say
little off.
necessarily ambient, because I'm not thinking like
Not ambient, like reverby background, wall of
not
soundy.
wall of sound, definitely.
Yeah.
There's a band called Flying Colors that are out of the UK that I really
Oh, bro, my roommate Zach loves them.
they're a direction that I would like to kind of go more of. It's very shoegazy, but also kind of like, I don't know, it's alt rock kind of too. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but yeah, it's got a lot of chorusy guitar stuff, which I'm really into.
I like a good chorus.
Yeah.
I like a good chorus sound.
With the,
It's got a little bit of punk vibe to it, but like,
isn't it the guitar player from The Pains of Being Pure at Heart?
no, that's another band that I'm into, which is called. Oh damn, I'm gonna hate myself for.
Oh
not
shoot,
remembering
that's
this.
a different band.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look it up. Screw it.
Is it?
Screw it.
I can't
Screw
remember.
it.
God.
I have a
Pains
whole
of Being
playlist
Heart.
dedicated to this
Man,
stuff.
in my head, The Pains of Being Pure at Heart was the
Depreciation Guild.
the Depreciation.
That's the
Guild.
guitar
I don't know
for
that
the
band, but
Depreciation Guild.
that band name
Isn't that
is
dope?
awesome.
It's-
Yeah. That's so dope. Like I
But
want to
yeah,
listen to it just for that
it's
reason.
a more shoegazy version of the stuff that I was doing, and it's not so much folky. It's a lot more like guitar driven. And I think what I'm going to end up doing, because of what I've been doing with like the whole acoustic format that I've been kind of going with, is doing the softer vocals, doing the much more like stripped back vocal stuff. I don't know. It's kind of where I want to go with it, at least.
we gone here.
And I'm working on a song right now with with the guy who played drums for us for a minute.
Yeah, our 1 month drummer. Luke.
Our 1 month drummer. But yeah, we'll see where that goes. I'm stoked about it.
Which, by the way, Night Ties, in case he's listening, we love Luke.
We love Luke.
Yeah, we thought Luke was a great drummer. It just didn't work out. I mean, we never even talked about it. I just assume it didn't work out because we're all super busy in different ways, and so
Yeah.
it wasn't like a great fit long term.
Yeah, that
But
makes
we
sense.
loved our time with Luke,
Yeah.
actually, and
Luke's
had
awesome.
zero problems with him
He
whatsoever.
was the drummer
amazing.
who played with you in the live show, right?
He played one live show with us,
Was that the-
and
was
Was it
if
only
you
one?
watch,
Was
the-
it only one?
I think.
Who played at the Music City Mayhem? You
That was
guys
Sean.
played at the. Oh, that was Sean.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you watch,
Oh, he was already with you guys at that point.
Yeah.
He was in the music video for Dizzy Dreamer.
Oh.
Luke is in Dizzy Dreamer music video. Yeah, yeah. Sean was at the recent Music City Mayhem live show,
Right.
which we were in Music City Mayhem again. But
Sean was at the first show that Luke couldn't play, but Nolan could.
Nolan.
Yeah, he was.
Oh,
at,
that's right. That's
he
right.
was at the show in Franklin.
Yeah. So Luke or Sean actually played with Nolan. Yeah. This is some like deep band shit.
Yeah, and then Tanner came along. You know.
No, there's no Tanner in
You're
our
goddamn
band.
right. There's no Tanner. All right. You know how I feel about people named Tanner.
No.
They're fucking
I
worse.
do. So, Zach, we have a very important question for you.
We're going to wrap it up right now.
No, we're not wrapping it up.
Yeah. This question always leads to
that.
more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, wait, hold on a second, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Zach
First
knows
of all,
what we're about to ask
you
him.
No, he
know what I'm
doesn't.
about to ask you.
He doesn't.
Unless you switch the question.
I'm about to. Or you do. Do you want to switch it or do I want to switch it?
Well, I mean, we used to
One
have...
of us is going to come up with a different kind of question.
We had a backup question, but that one, I don't want to really carry on anymore.
I don't
know?
remember
You don't
it.
remember the backup?
No.
The two birth? That was straight from Liz,
no.
if you recall. But no, I've always had the same question forever, and we can't ask you the same question again. We need like a 3 or 4 questions.
Hey, Jerry, maybe talking to the fucking mic in front of your mouth.
I'm talking in front. And what do you mean? It's 2 inches from my mouth.
You're
What do
like
you want
doing
from me?
like a goddamn
Look,
cyclone
I
around
look to
it.
the left because that's where you are. I look to the right. That's because where Zach is. I look to slightly
Look
left.
in a way that
and that's
puts
where
your mouth
Wesley
on the
is.
fucking mic.
It's got to be right in front of your
Put your
mouth.
goddamn mouth on the fucking mic.
Are you picking up the Dane Cook vibes there?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
That's a good ear. That's a good ear.
It is.
It's a great ear.
because that's from that. It's from that one
Yep.
bit. It's
Yes,
from
it
the
is.
one bit when he.
About the tree.
when
about the
no,
tree.
not about the
Are
tree.
you trying to molest
Yeah.
me via
No,
drive?
it's about
What are you
Bible.
saying?
The
No,
Bible.
It's from the Bible.
Oh, the
yeah, when he
sneeze. What episode-
sneezed.
What is
Dane
this
Cook
one?
from Dane Cook's stand
Dane
up.
Cook.
Which one?
The one where the
So
logo
it's all
was the
started
3
with
fingers.
a sneeze.
Oh.
Yeah, and he starts. He's talking about.
I don't
he
think that's the one.
sneezed, and then I don't remember. But the
A guy on a train sneezed, and I said,
guy-
"God bless
this is
you."
the line. He said, "God bless you," but I kind of meant go fuck
No,
yourself.
I mean, it gets there.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
gets
yeah,
there.
yeah.
But the
It's
guy
a great
said,
bit.
The guy said, "I don't believe in God."
Yeah.
So what the fuck am I
right.
supposed to do with that?
Anyways, the point is, we're not trying to do the bit, but go look up Dane Cook's comedy special from like the early 2000s because it's
I've
phenomenal.
had enough tequila to want to do the bit.
Do the bit, Ryan, right now.
I won't.
And we're gonna
So,
tag Dane
move it.
Cook, and he's gonna make fun of you because you do it bad.
God bless you.
Anyway.
All right, so
I remember
if-
Dane Cook got a lot of. Since we're talking about Dane Cook, he got a lot of shit.
Did
I
he?
feel like back in the day, I feel like a lot of people talked about him and like he got a lot of shit.
Well, Dane Cook's actually in the media right now
He's
because
hilarious. What'd he do?
Yeah,
What'd he do?
because he just either married or proposed to his girlfriend, who he's known for the last or been dating for the last 5 years. She's like 22,
I don't care.
Whoa.
You know what?
but he's known her for like 7 years. Something's a little
So
weird
she's
there.
actually 29.
I'm not trying to judge Dane Cook.
I'm not
I don't
either.
know
I don't
the
give a shit about.
story,
I don't give a shit about Dane
But
Cook anymore.
all I know about Dane Cook is I remember people used to give him shit for not being that funny, and I thought they were wrong.
They're
I
wrong.
love
because
Dane Cook.
he's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
his specials are
First
great.
of all, his first special where he talks about like the BK Lounge and the whole and the pickles.
Yeah.
And the pickles. That is hilarious.
He's phenomenal. He's
Yeah.
a great comedian.
Pickles,
I wish has he come out with a special in a long time? Like I watch a lot of stand up and I don't know that I've seen a
No,
special in a long time.
but I was recently listening. I was on Spotify and somehow I stumbled upon this. Bob Saget, before he passed away, had a podcast called I forget. It's something like Bob
Speaking of
Saget
COVID.
loves you or is there for you or it's something like weirdly supportive like that. Like he was a nice guy.
Really supportive
apparently.
for his really aggressive, raunchy stand up that he had for his era.
Yeah, but apparently everybody loved him.
Yeah, he's hilarious. Have you seen
Yeah.
his stand up?
I have. He's
he's
very
good.
funny.
He's funny.
But no. When Bob Saget
is
passed
very
away, Instagram, one day Instagram said, John Mayer has gone live. And I was like, John Mayer? Okay. So I tuned in, and John Mayer and some comedian who I don't know his name, but I
Dave
saw,
Chappelle?
knew his face. No.
Dave Chappelle's the number one
Someone-
stand up of
Oh,
all
is
time.
that weird looking guy? He's kind of heavy.
Yeah, and bald.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
so
guy.
him
I
and
watched that
John
one.
Mayer are driving on the 405.
Yes.
And they went to go pick up something of Bob's
I thought it
from
was his
the
car.
airport. Yes, his car.
Yeah.
They're like, hey guys, we're driving Bob's car back right now. We're taking it back. Man, Bob was just incredible. He was just the nicest guy I'd ever met
You're
in my
saying
whole
like
life.
it's Trump.
Yeah, you have like a Trump voice
No,
right
that's
now.
also how John Mayer talks.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
John Mayer and Trump,
Yeah.
same guy. Have you ever seen him in the same room at the same time? Have you ever? I'm just saying. I have never seen John Mayer and Donald Trump in the same room at the same time.
So you're telling me
It's not impossible.
that a guitar god was running our country, and I didn't
Guitar
even know it.
God.
You didn't even tab Trump, man. What the fuck? You didn't tab Trump? You should have tabbed Trump. So John Mayer and this guy are driving, right? And they're driving back Bob Saget's car. And for like 45 minutes, I'm watching John Mayer and this random comedian talk about how incredible Bob Saget was, apparently.
And he's not even there.
No, but I watched it live, so I felt like I was. And so anyway, I watched this Bob Saget podcast, and it's like the podcast. It's Bob Saget's podcast. It's called like Bob Saget Loves You, Bro, or something like that.
Sure. Can we fact check that? No,
and the very last episode of the podcast, because it's the last one filmed before he died, is Dane Cook is the guest, and they had Bill Burr do the intro. So Bill Burr comes on. He's like, "Hey guys, they asked me to do the last intro for the Bob Saget podcast. Fucking Bob is
your Bill Burr
fucking incredible. I've never tried to do this before. This is in the moment, okay? Fucking, he's a great guy. He's a fucking incredible guy. So fucking here's Bob Saget and goddamn
Wesley,
Dane Cook.
what does Bill Burr sound like?
He sounds like
I'm really curious now.
Something like
you don't know Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Can we hear a clip from it?
You don't know Bill
We
Burr?
don't have that ability yet.
Wait, Zach, you don't know
I
Bill
know
Burr?
who Bill Burr is.
Okay.
He was in Breaking Bad.
He was in
Oh, wait,
Breaking
wait, wait.
Bad and Better Call
Hey,
Saul.
Wesley made a
Yeah.
really good point.
Yeah.
It's called Bob Saget's Here For You.
Bob
Okay.
Saget's here for you.
Got it.
And that gets the gist of what I'm saying. So anyway, he had Dane Cook on, and
Dan Cook on.
Okay, well, if we're
bro,
gonna,
I started this story with like a very specific moment
That's
from
gone
the
now.
episode.
That's
It's
gone now.
totally gone.
Anyway, I know that I know myself and Ryan are,
Yeah.
and I think Zach as well are pretty
What's
big
that?
fans of stand up.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Ryan's turned me on to more.
Oh,
Since,
that's good. That's a good move, Ryan. Do you have like a favorite stand up, a favorite special?
I have a guess.
well, it's hard because I didn't know a lot of stuff before Ryan and I were friends.
Oh, okay. So
Before
you're a
that-
newer stand up fan.
Before that, I was a big Brian Regan fan.
Oh, well, of course, sure.
He's
Classic.
hysterical.
We all
Phenomenal.
love him.
Hilarious. We all
Yeah.
love Brian Regan here.
I really like Crystalia, even though Crystalia.
Even though Crystalia, I don't know what that means.
You're saying because he got canceled.
Yeah.
Did he get canceled? Oh, I don't know about all
Yeah,
that.
but like, did you see his apology? We didn't
Yeah.
watch that together.
We watched
Yeah.
it together.
It was like
yeah.
a decent apology.
I don't know about. Look,
I think his apology
I don't
was
know.
like,
This
guys,
is
I
how-
liked
okay.
having sex.
Listen, first of
I
all,
don't really remember.
what was the controversy?
cancel culture is fucking. I hate cancel culture,
Sure.
first of all, because like I'm a big Ryan Adams fan, and I think anybody that has done terrible things, as long as it's not like completely over the top, which I don't even know who the fuck knows what that is. I think that people should be able to redeem themselves somehow, get better,
Yes.
do better,
Yeah,
whatever.
that's
and,
fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They should be able to get the moment to redeem
No matter
themselves.
what happened in the past.
Exactly. Unless you murdered somebody or something shit like that. You know, something that's like way over I don't even know what over the top is.
Sure,
But
sure. Wherever your line is.
exactly. But Crystalia is hysterical.
I don't know the controversy surrounding him at all. I have no idea
I don't
what
know the
happened.
whole
Nothing.
story.
Basically,
I'd not
if
heard
I
anything.
remember off the top of my head, and I've been drinking tequila all night, but he he apparently, when he would go into a
He
new
apparently-
town, he would jump on Instagram and he would try to have sex with girls
And then town that
in
he
that
was
town.
like doing stand
yeah,
up
whatever town. He would
Yeah.
connect with girls.
You mean he would use his fame to have
Correct.
sex with girls?
Correct.
Is it? Am I a terrible person? I don't think that's that wrong.
Yes. So he would basically
Yes, you are.
use his fame to have sex. And the
I know
other
it's not
thing,
pressuring people.
I think the thing that was controversial is that supposedly, like, one of the girls was underage. But then, like,
Okay.
at least going by his apology video, in his apology video, he said that he knew she was under. He asked her, "What is your age?" And she said her age, and so then he said he stopped. So,
So
ultimately,
it sounds like he's a stand-up guy,
it kind of sounds like he had sex with girls.
like a lot because he's famous and like maybe a good-looking
Yes.
dude. I don't know. Maybe is he a good-looking
Is
dude?
he good looking?
I think he's
All
a
I
good-looking
can think
dude.
about
right?
is
In my
all
head,
the
he's
stuff
not,
that he's
but maybe
doing
he's
where he's
not.
like
Yeah.
all being like limby and you know and he's like you know and like
But
I
he's
don't
funny.
It is funny.
He's funny and he
Incredible.
attracts people because he's funny. If they
Yeah.
know him because he's famous because
Okay.
he's funny.
All I know is he's married, and
Well, I don't know about any of that. I don't know about that.
I think I recently watched a podcast episode with him and his wife. Yeah, and
Epic Scode.
a good question is, was he married before the controversy? Like their marriage survived? Because I feel like that's the thing. Like if your marriage survives that, like that's a pretty good sign.
Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about this, obviously, as I've been saying, but I just know he's hilarious. He's one of my favorite stand-ups. Top 10 easy.
Yeah.
Easy top 10.
Drew, do you ever quote comedians? Like, could you do a bit right now?
I will use a line from time to time, but I purposely, I'm not trying to do bits because I'm not that comedian.
Ryan and I
would.
Like, I mean, I'll do like a Chris.
Yeah, give me something.
Do you guys say Delia or Delia? I say Delia.
I say Delia.
I think that's right,
Yeah,
right?
Delia.
That's right. But I mean, with him, I oftentimes use from him the like Rome wasn't built in a day bit.
Oh yeah.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Oh my
It
gosh.
takes more than one day to have built Rome.
Me and Wesley's friend Jordan is the living embodiment of Chris D'Elia.
But my favorite,
Amen to that.
Yeah, amen to that is goddamn right. But so you don't have a number one favorite stand-up special. But
No.
you're a fan of his.
No.
Do you have a favorite number one stand-up special of all time, Ryan?
Oh,
I have liked stand up for a while though.
Yeah.
if I
mean,
gotta say,
Jeff
hold on,
Foxworthy
he
back in
asked
the
me
day?
a question. He asked me a question. You just picked
Go,
Jeff
I
Foxworthy.
know.
Jesus
Jeff
Christ,
Foxworthy's
shut up.
funny. I like Jeff Foxworthy.
Back in the day, Jeff Foxworthy was the king.
Is it jizz everywhere?
Oh no, I forgot all about Aziz.
yeah.
Oh wow.
That's
wow.
somebody that
wow.
hasn't
all
jumped on the
just
train
say-
yet.
I
Hold on.
love him.
Can we just take a moment?
Let's go watch Aziz when we get home.
Can we all say Aziz like Aziz would say it?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, in 3, 2, 1.
Aziz!
That's pretty good.
Dude, that was like the world's biggest Aziz-a-thon ever.
Look, well,
We're diseased.
I'm not
with
gonna lie.
Aziz.
I was only asking you and only asking him, so I could say my favorite third.
Of course, you fucking selfish.
Which the number one stand-up special of all time is "Killing Them Softly" by Dave Chappelle.
I
There
knew
is
you were going to
not-
say Dave Chappelle.
Dave
I don't
Chappelle is
know
the number
why.
one stand-up of
You're
all
a Dave Chappelle
time.
guy.
Guessed.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle. I've never seen him do something that's not funny. He's always funny all the time. Number one stand-up, and if you don't like him, fuck you. I don't care because
Yeah.
he's number one. And if you don't, and for all the controversies, also fuck you because
Yeah.
listen to it in context.
Okay.
I think
think-
something similar too.
But also fuck you. Is what I'm
aggressive.
saying. If you
Wow.
don't like Dave Chappelle, you don't understand what's funny.
Wow. So I think my
He is funny.
my
He's
favorite stand-up special ever right now, if I had to pick one.
Sure.
Ooh, this is tough. If I had to pick my favorite right now, like I'm going to show somebody this is stand-up, I got one shot, I'm going to pick John Mulaney, The Comeback Kid.
That's a good one.
You
That's a good
showed
one.
that to
I'm
me
a huge
recently.
fan. Huge
It's
fan.
so good.
He's in town this Friday, right?
Bill Clinton never forgets a bitch ever. Yeah, incredible
great
moment.
line.
But if I was going to go based on my lifetime, like the most nostalgic early comedy special that changed my life, it would be Brian Regan's special. I don't
one?
even know that
The
it has a
Man on the
name.
Moon?
Which one is it?
No. Before
Is
that.
it the Brian
before
Regan
that.
live one where he's just talking
Yes,
about like
where he's like,
big yellow one's son?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, the
Yeah.
big yellow one's the sun.
Yeah.
That
a good line.
episode, yes.
That one's so good.
That's a good line. Co quotes that a lot. But no,
Big
I liked
yellow
Man on the
one's
Moon more. Man on the
that-
Moon was like a really
Man
really
on the Moon was
solid.
really good, but the Brian Regan
put a
live
man on the
changed my
moon.
life, and
That might be the same one.
Is it? That's what I was thinking.
I don't know.
But I don't know.
I
There's like
downloaded
3 that are
Brian
decent.
Regan live. I downloaded from fucking Napster. That's
That's
how I got that
amazing.
when I was
Damn.
like 11 or 12.
So who's your if there's not a special, who's your top stand-up comedian? Who's your number one comedian? I don't know why I said
I
stand-up.
don't think I have
comedian,
a top stand-up comedian though.
You're not the man on fire.
So I feel like Ryan, it's John Mulaney. I feel like.
John Mulaney's my favorite. Then maybe like Brian Regan and Chris D'Elia.
Chris
and then
D'Elia.
Aziz.
Here's the
oh
thing.
fuck, I love Aziz.
Aziz, though.
Here's the thing. Chris D'Elia is just so silly.
He's so.
Hold on, I feel like we're not talking enough about Bill Burr, Louis C.K., Tom Segura, Burt Kreischer.
Louis C.K. is.
Oh, I like them
Louis
all, too.
C.K. was great before he became a creep.
No, he got better after he became a creep.
I
He
don't
became
know.
more hilarious, more outlandish. Yes, more hilarious. Abso-fucking-lutely.
I think, dude, Chris. Okay, I don't know.
Also, the controversy around him, it was fucking okay. Look, it's in my opinion, overblown and taken out of context. All right,
He got him tooed.
Him too.
him tooed.
Anyways, I don't know. I just love Louis C.K. And But anyways, also those rest of those people. Anyways, continue. I'll stop talking about that.
I don't know.
Bitch,
I
we getting
think
canceled after this episode.
We can't get canceled.
I really do like Chris D'Elia because he's just such a silly weirdo. And I'm talking about like when he's doing his stand-up.
but he's got
obviously.
good,
you know
some
what I mean?
good thoughts as well
He's
in
ju-
there.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
But the way he does, like, when he's talking to like his niece and shit like that, and his bits and stuff, and he's like, "What do you want to do here? What is going on?" I just think
It's
that's
not
just-
his niece,
yeah,
it's his friend's daughter.
That's what it is. Same thing.
Oh, wait, Angelica? Is that right?
I don't remember. We need to watch that
Anyways,
again.
we'll ask him when he comes on the show.
Yeah.
He's got his own podcast.
Doesn't mean
That's-
he can't come on ours. Anyways,
I
if
don't
you're listening, Chris D'Elia, which you know you are,
I think
hit us
I
up.
think my favorite types of comedians are people that just do silly stuff. You know what I mean? And that's why I like Brian Regan because he's so like his facial expressions and like weird stuff. I think it's hysterical.
Oh, I have an interesting question if I think about it. If you had to choose.
And I do.
Jury.
You want me to just jump into the question?
And you do. That's what you say.
Oh, you're going with it?
Uh-huh.
Wait. What were we talking about right before we stopped for a second?
It doesn't even matter.
Okay.
We have a very important question. If you had to choose.
And you do.
And you do.
And I do.
I feel like we flipped roles right now.
I just turned
Maybe.
I turned into Batman for a second there. And I do.
And I do. Can we please capture the clip of you doing that and use it as a button? We need that as a sound clip.
Where were the other drugs going?
Joker.
Joker. Yeah.
But if you had to choose.
What's going on here?
Jury, did you space out?
I'm racking my
freeze?
brain for a question
Are
good
you
enough.
frozen?
I'm racking my
Have you
brain for a
froze?
question good enough.
Do we need
See,
to
here's the problem. Here's the problem. For those
Okay,
third
well,
ones
he's
listening to
thinking
the
of a
podcast.
question really quick. Jury,
Do we need to
maybe
refresh?
we do the and you do thing.
Wait. Okay. Well, here's the problem. Zach has been on this podcast before.
True.
And
I
last time he was here, we asked him the question that we ask every guest. And it just wouldn't be right to ask him that same question because we've already heard his answer.
Yeah.
And right now he's had 3 years to think about it.
True.
And you know how we
Yeah.
feel about the instant answer.
Yeah.
We want the off the
My
cuff
favorite turtle
from your soul.
is the. Is that not turtle enough for the turtle club?
But not turtle enough for the turtle.
That guy?
But the thing is, I still want an off the cuff
Yes,
from
you
your
do.
soul
you do.
answer to any question that I
I'm gonna
ask.
close my eyes.
So, Zach, if you had to choose.
And you do.
And you do.
And I do.
But the important thing about these questions always is
Yeah.
that you can't think about it.
Not even for a second.
It must be.
It must be brain vomit.
It must be brain vomit. It must be because that's what's truly
Yes.
in your soul.
It come straight from your heart.
from your soul.
Heart.
But the point is, if you had to choose,
And you do.
and you do,
What would you say
what would you say
if you had to choose?
is the number one state in America?
Vermont.
That's bullshit. You're from there. It doesn't count. You have to.
That was your goddamn question.
No, my other question, my question was gonna be, rewind. We're doing a different one, more random. If you had to
choose the
choose
state, he has a state he's
You're
from.
right.
Of
I
course,
shouldn't
he's
have-
gonna
everyone
choose
has
his
a
own.
state they're from unless they're not from the states.
Everyone has a state.
You're right.
People don't always.
I had
know it,
another
but they-
one.
Everybody does.
I had another question in mind, but I thought it was too esoteric.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go with it. If
Okay.
you
Did
had
you ever?
to choose,
Did you ever think about how if your mic was by your face, people could hear
my
you?
mic is exactly 2 inches from my face. What do you
Now
want
it
from
is,
me?
but most of the time it isn't. And you do.
If you had to choose,
And you do.
and you do,
And you do.
what would you say
What would you say?
is your favorite mattress material to sleep on?
Wow. Go,
What are you
go!
doing?
Okay, I've never owned one of these mattresses, but like memory foam, 100%.
We have a memory foam mattress. It's
Yeah,
nice.
I wish I had one. Mine, I've owned this mattress that I've owned for years. If my girlfriend is listening, watching, I've owned this mattress for way too long. and it's
What kind of mattress is it?
disgusting.
Is it,
I don't
is
even
it like
know.
a regular like springy mattress, like
It's
springs
it has
and the
springs.
shit, like the classic
It's a
mattress?
spring. Whoa, a spring.
But I didn't. I think I happened to. It was like a hand-me-down mattress.
mm-hmm.
That's gross.
That's gross. I don't use used mattresses. It's disgusting. Also, I don't let anybody else besides me and my wife sleep in my bed, as Ryan knows well.
Thank God. Hold on. I was gonna say, thank God you and Stephanie are waiting for marriage, so you're not on that hand-me-down mattress, bro.
Oh God.
Well, I'll tell you.
You know who has slept on my mattress?
Who?
Besides me?
Ryan
Stephanie.
probably. Ryan's a fucking.
I
whore.
have not. I have never.
Nathan.
Nathan, of course, Nathan.
Of course, Nathan.
Nathan's like Ryan times
Yeah.
3.
Nathan was also a prior podcast. Go look up Nathan Povada's episode. He's a prior podcast.
like episode
guest.
5.
We'll have him back on
He
again.
has slept on my mattress as well.
Of course he has.
He has not slept on
He
mine.
slept on everyone's
Not
bed.
mine.
Everyone's bed.
So-
He slept on your bed. You were out of town once.
One
he slept
time,
on it.
I was working at 7-Eleven. Ryan came in and it was super late at night, and that's when he was living far away, not close by. And he was like, "Hey man, you're working overnights. Do you mind if I like go sleep at your house? I don't have to drive like 40 minutes home." And I was like, "Yeah, that's totally fine, but you cannot sleep in my bed."
But he did.
No, he did not.
Jury has a don't sleep on my bed.
Don't
thing.
sleep in my fucking bed.
It's really weird.
God, I can't wait to break this rule.
Jury is the most of anyone I've ever met in my life. The most don't sleep on my bed person.
Don't sleep in my bed unless
Yeah.
unless you're me or
Let's
my.
talk
I don't
about
want
this
you.
real quick.
I don't want you
First
having
of all,
like night sweats in my bed.
What about your dog?
My dog sleeps on the floor.
Yeah.
Because
I have
I'm
not-
allergic
I
to
could pretend to be
dogs,
your
and if he sleeps in the bed, I have terrible allergies.
Like for instance,
Yeah.
I've not ever
But I
slept
love
in your bed,
dogs.
and yet
No. But you have greeted me in the morning.
Mhm.
And we've talked in my bed about nighttime stuff.
I
Like
hopped
in bed
into your bed.
together? Like
I hopped
cuddling?
into your bed and it's a big bed. I hopped into his bed and we talked and hung out. Yeah, yeah,
Big
yeah,
bed.
yeah, yeah,
So when
yeah.
you guys were cuddling, talking about night
pillow
times.
talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one time. But like I've never slept in your bed. There was this one time
At band
and we
camp.
were in college. Like in college years, me and Jury hanging out.
Yeah.
I had a situation where it would have been very convenient to sleep in his bed. I don't remember what the situation was.
You lived in Alpine, was the situation.
Oh, I
you didn't want
lived
to drive to
very
Alpine.
far away.
Where's Alpine?
So I was like, can I
It's
sleep?
like 30 minutes east of actual San Diego.
Okay.
It was far away from his house. So I was like, can I sleep in your bed? And he was like, hard
Absolutely
no.
fucking not.
Which is weird because you're like overall a very like permissive, like
Yeah,
it's okay person.
Yeah.
But you have certain lines that are like weirdly hard. And that's a weirdly
Yeah.
hard line.
You said permissive. I swear to God, I thought you were going to say promiscuous.
Well, I am promiscuous as well, but no. Here's the thing.
yeah,
here's
hear
the thing.
that, Corinne? I told you to divorce him. I told you never should have married him.
That's his sister, my wife. But his sister, my wife. But
Your
the
ex-coworker.
thing is, look, your ex-coworker. When you sleep, right? When you're going to bed,
don't.
you sleep. Well, not you, but everybody else.
Just kidding.
When you just write songs all night. But when you sleep, sometimes it's hot, you sweat.
Yeah.
I don't want some other man's sweat juice in my sheets. You know what I mean?
Isn't that just called sweat?
No, sweat juice.
Bruh, I think I got like Michael Jackson energy. Like,
This is the part of the episode where we just devolve. Like, I don't know what happened. Look, I just don't want. I don't want your man juice in my bed. I don't think that's too much to ask. Keep your man juice on the couch.
This laughter has got me sweating.
To be fair, it's hot as fuck in this room. Anyways, guys, we probably got to wrap it up here. But anyways, guys, we got to start wrapping this up. But before we do, let us know, where can the people find you? What's your socials? Where can they find their music? Where can they see you live?
Sure. I haven't booked any shows yet. I'm planning on doing that before the end of the year, hopefully. You can come see me play with Night Tides. But as far as socials go, as far as, music goes, you can find me at Zach.Ummer. Zach.Ummer. That's on Instagram.
UMMER.
That's Instagram, yeah. UMMER. I got a new song coming out. Ryan and I are working on it right now.
it's called Dear Anita.
So
It
they
is
can
called
find you on
Daria.
Instagram,
So I'm on Instagram.
Twitter.
Here's the thing about Twitter though. I was hacked a while ago, and they spread a bunch of
Don't
weird
trust it. Don't trust it.
No, they spread a bunch of stuff, and I got blocked, and I can't get back in.
Facebook?
I've tried many times. You can find me on Facebook. Most of the stuff that's
Zach
on
Ummer,
Facebook
yeah.
is from Instagram.
Okay. TikTok.
I have TikTok, but I haven't used it yet.
All right.
Have you
OnlyFans.
No.
Zach Ummer on OnlyFans.
Zach
Not
Ummer
on
shows
that.
his feet. have we
ZachUmmerShowsHisFeet.com.
Oh God.
have we talked about Spotify yet though?
Spotify.
That's the main thing.
Yeah,
You
it
can
is a
just
big thing.
just search
Zach
Zach Ummer.
Ummer.
ZACHUMMER.
Yeah, and when you go there, make sure to listen to Addict and Strange Times.
And the rest.
Or wait, We're Living In? What is the song called?
Wishing for a better life.
Wishing for a Better Life.
Ryan always
Yeah, yeah,
remembers
yeah.
the 1st lyric.
Wishing for a Better Life, that's true.
Yeah.
Strange times we're living in, and I can't. You know the time we were at our house and I did your song in the Blink-182 voice, Tom DeLonge voice.
Strange times
We're living in, and I can't remember it. It's something. Anyway, so.
But anyways, guys,
go listen to the
Go
Zach
make sure
Ummer
you check out
songs.
Zach Ummer. And as always, thanks for coming to hang out with us. You guys are awesome. And we see y'all again next time.
Strange times we're living in, and I don't know how to begin speaking about it. You try your best to bite your tongue, but you piss off everyone. Wake me up when it's over. I'm in my head, it's darkest night, it's the end of the world. I'm wishing for a better life. Thunderstorms and the power's out. The twister came and blew by your house. Are we dreaming? And if that wasn't nightmare fuel, the government passed another rule. If we're lucky, we'll be fine. It's the end of the world. I'm wishing for a better life. It's alright at the end of the day. Oh, babe, we're gonna be okay. Such a shame I can't hold your hand. Gotta stick to this stupid plan, but it's messing with me. I wake up to a life inside, along with some tired eyes, and a reality I despise. It's the end of the world. I'm wishing